Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Angie at Chicken Scratch, and this is the project we're making today. Okay, so this is the box, and it can open on either end. So it can open there, or it can open the opposite end, just like that. Okay, so I'm going to show you the supplies really quick. They are pretty minimal. So we're using Lost Lagoon cardstock, and this measures 11 by 7 3/8. And then we've got a piece of white, that's for our stamped images here, and that's 4 1/4 by 1 3/8, and I've got myself 2 of those. Then we've got 2 pieces that measure 6 1/2 by 1 5/8, and this is the Wildflower Fields Designer Series paper. This is in the Celebration catalog, so we've got a couple more weeks left of that catalog. And then we've got 2 more pieces that's 6 1/2 by 1 1/4. And so what I did was I took the Designer Series paper, cut it at 6 1/2, and then I cut all 4 pieces. Okay? The stamp set that we're using is Grateful Bunch. And the colors that we're using are Blackberry Bliss, Hello Honey, and Lost Lagoon. These are 3 of the colors that are going to be retiring soon. Okay, so let me get out the Simply Scored scoring tool. We're going to place this in portrait mode first, and so the tall, or I should say the short side, is up here at 7 3/8, okay? And we're going to score this at 1 1/2, 3 3/8, 4 7/8, and 6 3/4. Then we're going to turn it on the long side, which is the landscape side, and we're going to score this at 5/8 of an inch and 2 1/8. And we're going to do that on both sides. So I'm just going to flip it and score again at 5/8 and 2 1/8. Now we're going to fold it on the score lines. I am going to use my bone folder. It does help. Last one on that side. Now we'll do this side. Okay, now we're going to do some trimming. You see this short end down here. I've got myself a template here. So what I'm going to do is over here on the right side, again I'm making sure I've got that thin side right there, I'm going to completely remove this part. Now don't do that on the other side because it's going to change, okay? So I'm still staying over here on this right side. And this one, I'm going to trim right in the middle where there's no score line. And then I'm going to trim it on the sides. Okay? The next one I'm going to leave alone. And then I'm going to jump down here to the last. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to trim it. And then give it a little trim on each side. Okay? Now we're going to come back over here to the left side. Again, we've got this small strip down here at the bottom. We're just going to move this section right here. We're going to skip this one and just cut up to the score line. Cut up to the score line again. So we're going to leave that one alone, but we're going to trim this one straight across. I almost cut too much. And then give those a trim, an angle trim, okay? Then again we're going to cut up to the score line, and this one we're going to actually remove completely, and then this one we're going to trim. Okay, I'm going to let you get a look at it just a second. Okay, so here's our box. okay? So the only place that we're actually going to put adhesive is on this strip right here. But first I'm going to give it a really small angle trim, just like that. Okay, just going to fold this over, just like that. Now we're going to take a corner punch. And although we're going to use the corner punch, we are more than likely going to have to give this part a trim. So it's a corner punch, but then we're going to trim it just a tad. But we're going to wait and see how well it assembles before we trim it. Okay. But before we do that, let's go ahead and add our Designer Series paper. So we've got the 2 larger pieces. Just going to place some snail on there. Okay, there's that one. And now the other 2. Okay, so now let's push these in there, and then we're just going to close these up. Now see, that one didn't need a trim at all, and it's possible that this one may not need a trim either. Well, let's see. I shoved it in there a little too hard. But neither one of them needed a trim. So if you had a difficult time getting those to close, just give them a little small trim on the side, okay? Not too much though. So now we're going to stamp our images. So first we're going to stamp the greeting with Blackberry Bliss, just right here in the middle. And then we're going to take the butterfly, and we're going to stamp it first with Hello Honey. I'm going to clean it off really quick with a baby wipe. And then stamp it with Lost Lagoon. And I think my white has been measured wrong, so I'm going to check that measurement really quick. Okay, so I want to give you a little heads up. So I gave you the right measurement when I was giving you the measurements. It was 4 1/4 by 1 3/8, but that's not the size it was cut. So I went over there and trimmed it really quick to measure 4 1/4 by 1 3/8. So I'm not real sure what I was thinking cutting that. Now this is going to go on here, so I'm just going to put some dimensionals on the back, and then we're going to add some rhinestones. I don't know how I got that wrong measurement. Well, I didn't give you the wrong measurement. I just cut my cardstock wrong. Okay. Just place that in the center, and then I'm going to get a paper piercer, and I want to add 2 rhinestones. Now normally I give away a kit to make a similar project. I do not have any of this extra cardstock, so I am not going to do that this time. I apologize. I still welcome you to head over to my website and leave a comment, but I'm not going to be giving away the kit this time, only because I don't have any of the Designer Series paper left over. I'll resume doing that when I have the supplies though. Okay. Okay, so that wraps up this project. This is the one we just made. This is my original. They look pretty identical. Okay, have a great day. Thanks a lot. Bye.